Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today I'm going to be doing a viewer request from a Crafter Square kit that I got from the Dollar Tree. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, I am going to be revisiting this puppy from the crochet kit that I got at the Dollar Tree. I had a request to work on the body. There's a lot of confusion when, first of all, reading these instructions, but two, when it comes to amigurumi kits, keeping track of the rows and your stitches can be quite difficult. So today what I have for you guys, I am using the instructions. I have my own yarn here today. I am using a lighter color yarn so that it's easier to see the stitches for you guys. The benefit of keeping these instructions is you're able to build the puppy time and time again with different yarns. I might just make a golden retriever or a lab, actually a lab I think, with this color yarn. I also have some markers, safety pins, whatever you call them. These are for knitting and crocheting, and they help you keep track of your rows. You can find these on any hobby store or Amazon, or I've seen people buy them from Temu. And then you do get the kit's needle. It's very flimsy and plastic. It's a 3.5 millimeter needle. Hook, sorry, and it says it here at the end piece. I kind of loosely interchange hook and needle because I do knit as well as crochet, but please apologize. Just know that I'm talking about hook, and then I also do the same thing with rounds and rows because I'm not accustomed to doing amigurumi kits. I'm used to doing regular row projects, so I say row. But in this case it's rounds, and sometimes I flip the two because now working with these amigurumi kits, it's just kind of sunken in there. So but today for you, I'm going to use a larger hook so that you can see my stitches better. This is a 4.25 millimeter. If you like to make a larger puppy, by all means, you can use thicker yarn. The yarn that they provide to you is a lot skinnier than this, and obviously the needle size, the hook size is different in comparison. So that's just the differences that we are going to be using for this video today. And then again, like I said, we're doing the crochet body. I'm going to show you from start to finish how to do this and how to keep track of rows and your stitches. So this is a lefty video. If you are not a lefty, go check out the righty video. Obviously it's the same thing, it's just different hands. Okay, so I'm going to take my yarn here. We're going to start from the beginning. You need your index finger palm up. We're going to spin this yarn twice around your finger to where we have a little bit left over like this, so that we can take our middle finger and hold it down like that. So you should have 3 strands here, 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to take your hook and you're going to slip it underside those 3 threads. Then we're going to pull the hook back, but we're going to drag this thread here under these 2. So hook it and drag it under, just like that. So now we have to close off our magic loop or ring, whichever you want to call it. So we have to yarn over, which is putting the yarn over the hook like this, and we're going to drag this yarn through this loop. So pull it through the loop, and we've closed off our magic ring or loop. You can let go of your middle finger, and then you can slide off the rings from your index. So you'll have something like this. Okay, so now we're going to just gather a bit of yarn. Our first set of instructions are in round 1. We have to do 6 single crochet stitches. These symbols here indicate what stitches you have to do. So just to show you in advance, we have the X with the caret on top, which is a decreasing stitch. We have an X with the caret on the bottom, which is an increasing stitch. And then for the last two, we have an oval for a chain stitch, and then we have an X for a single crochet stitch. So these instructions kind of tell you everything you need to know to do it. It's just sometimes it's not clear, so I'm just going to do the body and make sure everything is clear for you guys. So like we said, so for the instructions, you'll see the row numbers in red, and we read from counterclockwise. So we have an oval and 6 X's, so we're going to be doing a chain and 6 single crochet stitches. So we're going to yarn over, pull through the loop, then we're going to do 6 single crochet stitches. So put your hook into the magic loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we just completed 1 single crochet stitch. Let's do this again. Into the magic loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Again, into the magic loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we have 3 single crochet stitches and the chain stitch. We just have to do 3 more single crochet stitch. So 1, 2, 3. So now we have 6 single crochet stitches. You can count it back just to make sure. But what you want to do is take your index and your thumb. We want to hold the base of these stitches very lightly. So just hold, I guess somehow hold this too. But hold the stitches down at the bottom here. So now we have this excess piece. What we want to do is, here's the front loop. This one in the back is the back loop. We want to pull this slowly and see which loop goes in first. So let's pull it slowly. Okay, so we see that the back loop is moving. What you want to do is pull this lower end out so we can see this front loop disappear. So go to the back there, pinch that lower end and pull it out. And depending on how you do your magic loop, sometimes it's not always going to be the back loop, sometimes it's going to be the front loop. But just pull this until in this moment now the front loop disappears. So you can kind of see it going away. And that's the whole magic loop. The hole disappears. And then once you pulled enough and it won't go anymore, you can pull this excess piece so that this back loop could then disappear as well. So pull that piece out. Now that hole is completely gone. We just have to close off this round. So count back 6 stitches from your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's the chain that we made. Now just for example, if I had more than 6, you could get away with undoing it and counting all over again by just sticking your hook into that 6th stitch. So if we count back 6 and it says stick it in here, let's say we have 2, 3 extra stitches. It will bunch up in the back, but you could just forget about those and do the slip stitch, or you can undo it and make sure you do the right number of stitches. So that's one way to go about making sure that you have everything right, just counting back and then trying to tuck away what you don't need. This is the chain stitch that we made. I'm going to yarn over and we're going to pull through every loop to do the slip stitch. So pull it through every loop off your hook like that, and then we're going to take a marker and we're going to put it through front and back loops here, and we're going to close it off, And then we're ready for our next round. So for our next round, we have to end up with 12 single crochet stitches. So just by judging the number already, and you should always double check your instructions, but 6 into 12, that means we're doing double the number. So we have to do an increasing stitch for each stitch, and I'll show you what the increasing stitches are. But just to double check, here's round 2. You have your oval to do the chain, and then you have the X with the caret on the bottom, and that's an increasing stitch, and it's like that for 6 of them. Okay, so we're going to do the chain first. So yarn over, pull through that loop, and then we're going to do our increasing stitch. Before we move on, just to make sure we clarify what stitch you put your hook into next, there are 2 ways you can go about it. The first way is pulling this chain you just made and looking at what pulls with it. This stitch here pulls, and then this little one here right next to it pulls. So these 2 stitches is where we joined, slip stitched to close the round. That means that the next stitch over we have to use, which would be this one. So you would stick your hook into the next stitch. Now, just to make sure that you are putting it into the right stitch, what you can also do is count back 6 stitches from the marker. So this one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means you have to put the hook into that 6th stitch that you counted. Okay. So now we're going to do our increasing stitch, sorry. So that's basically making 2 single crochet stitches in this one stitch. And I'll show you how to do that. We're going to yarn over, pull through a loop or loops, then we're going to yarn over again and pull through 2 loops. That's a single crochet stitch, but we're going to do this one more time into that same stitch to do an increasing stitch. So into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we have 2 single crochet stitches in one stitch, and that's pretty much it. And we're going to do this 5 more times. So let me just do this a couple more with you. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, let me walk through this with you one more time. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we just have to repeat this 3 more times. Increasing stitch, and it's good to always call out the next stitches you're doing so you don't forget. Increasing stitch, and then we're going to remove this marker because I need this stitch. Okay, increasing stitch. Okay, so now I'm going to count back 12 and we're going to do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So here's the 12th stitch, and right next to it to the left is that chain 1 we did, but we're going to do a slip stitch and then we're going to mark it off. Okay. So now we'll be able to move to the 3rd round. Okay, so for round 3 it says that we have to finish with 18 stitches. We'll go to round 3 here. We have an oval for a chain. We have an increasing stitch, single crochet stitch, 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 increasing stitch, single crochet stitch. So every other stitch. Okay. So I'm going to take some yarn. Okay. Then I'm going to chain one, yarn over, pull through the loop. Then I'm going to do an increasing stitch. So pull the chain here and you'll see which stitches it's tugging on. It's tugging on this front one and it's tugging on this little back one back here. So we're not putting our hook into those two. We're going to move on to the next stitch over, which is this one. So put your hook into the next stitch, or like I said, you can count back 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Our hook is already in there. So you can yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then an increasing stitch is putting your hook into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So that's how you kind of do the next round, making sure that you've got your hook into the right stitch when you do your first stitch. And then we're going to continue on with the pattern, which is next a single crochet stitch, stick your hook into the next stitch over, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And then we're going to do an increasing stitch, so into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, single crochet stitch, increasing stitch, and we're just gonna keep alternating the stitches till we get to the end of the marker. Okay, so single crochet stitch, increasing stitch, oh, how did that happen? Let me single crochet stitch, increasing stitch, single crochet stitch, increasing stitch, and then we're going to remove this marker and we're going to do a single crochet stitch. Okay, so now we can count back 18 stitches and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Stick your hook into the 18th stitch. Back there is the chain that we did. We're going to yarn over and slip through all loops. And we're going to mark it up. And we're going to move on to round 4. So for round 4, we have to do 24 stitches. Now for round 4, we have an oval to do a chain stitch. We have an increasing stitch, 1, 2 single crochet stitches, 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 an increasing stitch, and 1, 2 single crochet stitches. Okay. I'm going to gather up some more yarn here on my finger. Okay, so yarn over chain 1. Now we're going to pull this again. You see that it's tugging this front one and this little back one. So we're going to put our hook into the next stitch over, or count back 18 stitches. So we're going to be doing an increasing stitch. Two. Then we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. 2. Then we're going to do an increasing stitch. Then we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. Then we're going to do an increasing stitch. Two single crochet stitches. Then we're going to do an increasing stitch. Then 2 single crochet stitches. Then an increasing stitch. Then 2 single crochet stitches. Then an increasing stitch. And then 2 single crochet stitches. Oop. We can remove the marker. Okay, so now that we're done with this round, I'm going to count back 24 stitches and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Stick your hook into the 24th stitch. You have your little chain stitch here in the back. Okay, so we're going to yarn over and slip through all the loops, and then I'm going to mark this off. We're going to move on to the next rounds, and what we have for you guys is rounds 5 through 7. So for the next 3 stitches, rounds, we're going to be doing 24 stitches of straight single crochet stitches. So this is going to be fairly easy. Now I'm going to be leaving the markers in. I'm going to be throwing 2 more up on here as I complete the rounds. And like I said, these are great tools to use to keep track of how many rounds you're using. If you don't have the safety pins, you can use a different color piece of yarn and just loop it through the stitch. But don't tie it or anything, so you can just pull it out either end. But I'm going to do a chain 1, and then I'm going to do 24 single crochet stitches. You don't have to necessarily count your stitches as you're doing them, because we're going to count them back before we close off the round. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, you guys. If you need me to speed up or slow down, click on the gear button. It's somewhere in the corner of the screen, and you'll be able to choose a playback option that will speed up or slow down the video. If you're a visual person, you can click on the CC button, which is closed captioning, and lower the volume on your phone so you can follow along that way. Okay, last stitch, you can remove the mark. Oh, don't remove the marker. Caught myself. Alright, you'll just have to push this over on the side a bit to keep the marker on there. Stick your hook into that last stitch, do your single crochet stitch, and then we're going to count back 24 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Stick your hook into the 24th stitch. There's that chain 1 we did. Yarn over and slip through all loops, and then we're going to mark up the last stitch, and we're keeping the markers on there so now we can keep track of where we are. We did round 5. We're going to be doing round 6 now. Let me gather up some yarn here. Okay, we'll do the row 6. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to do 24 single crochet stitches. Oh, pull the chain. You see that it's tugging this one in the back. So we're going to put our hook into the next stitch or count back 24 stitches. Okay, and like we did before, I'm just going to move the marker over. I'm going to stick the hook into the last stitch. Then I'm going to count back 24 stitches and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Stick your hook into the 24th stitch. We have that chain stitch made back there. Yarn over and pull through all loops, and then we're going to mark up the last stitch here for round 7. So we're going to do 24 stitches one more time, so you can count 5, 6, 7. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 24 single crochet stitches. 2, and into the last stitch. Okay, again I'm going to count back 24 stitches and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, yarn over and pull through all loops. I'm just going to remove these markers and place one in the last stitch that we made. And remove these other two. And then we can move on to round 8. So for round 8 we have to have 17 stitches. In the righty video I noticed that they didn't have an oval for round 8, but I put it there in anyway. We've been doing a chain for every round, and for some reason there isn't one in this row 8. But we have to end up with 14 stitches. So it starts with the decreasing stitch. That's the X with the caret on top. Single crochet stitch, decreasing stitch, single crochet stitch, decreasing stitch, single crochet stitch, decreasing stitch, single crochet stitch, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decreasing stitches. So let's see how many single crochet stitches I need. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I just have to keep track of what I'm doing. Before we start, you see how the piece here is curving inside. You can see all the individual rounds. This side is actually the right side. This other side that it's curling out to, it has the excess piece. This is the inside of the body, and you can tell because you can't really see the definitive rows. So what we're going to do is invert this, making the right side outside. So just pop that like this. And then we can continue on with our round 8. So what we're going to do is chain 1. And you see I'm pulling this, and you can see it's pulling this one, and you can actually see it's going through this one. So we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do a decreasing stitch. So a decreasing stitch is pretty much taking 2 single crochet stitches and making it into 1. And how we do that is we're going to put our hook into the next stitch over. If we pull this, like I said, it's pulling this one and this one here, so we have to move on to the next stitch over. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Then you're going to stick the hook into the next stitch over, yarn over and pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And that's 1 single crochet stitch using 2 separate stitches. So now we're going to go do a single crochet stitch, and we just have to repeat this one 3 more times. So do a decreasing stitch into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch over, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then we're going to do a single crochet stitch, and now we just have to repeat this 2 more times. I'm just going to get more yarn here. So decreasing stitch, you stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then your hook into the next stitch over, yarn over, pull up a loop. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and then do a single crochet stitch. And then 1 more time with this pattern, we're going to do a decreasing stitch, and then we're going to do a single crochet stitch. Okay, so from here on out we're going to do decreasing stitches all the way to the very end. So decreasing stitch, decreasing stitch, decreasing stitch, decreasing stitch, decreasing stitch, and then we're going to remove the last, and we're going to remove the marker because we're using the last 2 stitches for our decreasing stitch. Okay, so now I'm going to count back 14 and we're going to do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm going to stick our hook into the 14th stitch. There's our chain stitch right there. Yarn over, pull through all loops, and we're just going to mark this off. And then we're going to move on to round 9. So for round 9, it's like the previous sets we had. The next 3 rounds we're going to do 14 stitches of single crochet stitches. So I'm not going to remove the markers. I am going to take a lot of yarn and put it around my finger. So just give me a few seconds here. I just don't like grabbing yarn every 2 seconds, so I like to have it all in one go. Okay, so we're going to chain 1, then we're going to do 14 single crochet stitches. Again, tug it, see that it's taking these 2, so into the next stitch, and then we're going to do 14 single crochet stitches. Again, you can speed up or slow down this video using the gear button in the corner of the screen. Okay, like we did before, I'm not going to be removing the marker. I'm just going to move it over and we're going to do a single crochet stitch. Then we're going to count 14 and do a slip stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Stick the hook into the 14th stitch. We have our chain 1 back there. Slip stitch, and we're going to mark off the last stitch. Okay, so now we're going to do round 10, and we're going to chain 1 and then 14 single crochet stitches. Oh, sorry. Just hit the camera. Okay, like we did before, move over the marker, do your last stitch. Now we're going to count back 14 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, you have your little chain stitch back there. Yarn over, pull through all loops, mark the last stitch, and now we can do round 11. Okay, Getting there, guys. Chain 1, 14 single crochet stitches. Okay, and because this is the last round of 14, I am going to remove the last marker as well as the other 2 markers from the previous rounds. I'm going to do my single crochet stitch, and then I'm going to count 14 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Stick your hook into the 14th stitch, chain stitch in the back there, yarn over, pull through all loops, and we're going to go back to regular marking. So we are in the last round, you guys. It was that quick. The hole is getting smaller. They have you finish this off, and then after every piece they stuff it. I'm going to stuff it now because the hole's just big enough to be okay and comfortable. We do end up with 12 stitches, so we're going to lose a couple more, which might make it a little harder for you depending on how big your hands are or if you have any tools to stuff. But I'm going to use my own fluff. I have it right here. You guys have your own fluff from the kit. If you are making this over and over again and you have no more fluff, you can get it on Amazon. The Dollar Tree does have like I saw it was like a pack, a long pack of fluff that you can get. That's if they have it. I only saw it once and I didn't need it at the time, and every time you go to the Dollar Tree and every time you go to a different Dollar Tree, there's always different items, so if you see it, grab it. Because I do like their stuffing. It's nice and fluffy. This is just as fluffy, but I don't think it's as soft as the Crafter Square Kit ones. So I'm just going to start stuffing this. And you don't want to overstuff, but we are doing one more round, so you want to make sure that you put in enough stuffing to cover the extra round that we'll be building. Okay. And depending on your liking, if you like it firm, if it's too firm, let me get a little bit more. Okay, just a little bit more because I am doing that last round. And you want to tuck it well enough. You don't want to crochet into the fiber fill because it'll start sticking out of your project, and you don't want that either. So I'm going to gather up some yarn and we're going to do this one more time, you guys. Home stretch for the body. Okay, so for the last round we have to end up with 12 stitches. So we have an oval for the chain, we have a decreasing stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochet stitches, a decreasing stitch, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochet stitches. So let's get this. We're going to do the chain 1, then we're going to do the decreasing stitch, and again that's pulling this, seeing that this and this is being tugged, so the next stitch over would be here. We're going to take 2 stitches into one, so stick your hook in there, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch over, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. And then we have to do 5 single crochet stitches. At the same time I'm pushing down the fluff so that you don't crochet into it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to do another decreasing stitch. Oops. Okay, and then we're going to do 5 single crochet stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to move the marker one last time, and then 5. And then we're going to count back 12 stitches and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Stick your hook into the 12th stitch, chain stitch in the back there. Okay, so we don't need to mark it this time, but what it does tell you to do in the other side of the instructions is to leave 5 inches to spare. I'm gonna do 5 inches. I don't remember what it's, if you can afford it, because the materials they give you are like the bare minimum, but if you can afford it, some of these parts, if you can, longer, because I use the pieces to sew the body parts together, so it's helpful if they're longer. Okay, just in case you don't make enough to sew everything together. Alright, so 5 inches from here. Wow, I can't count. 3, 4, 5. Okay, right about here. I take the scissors and chop that off. So now we're going to fasten off, and to fasten off it's real easy. You're going to do a yarn over and pull that all the way out through the loop, and then we're going to pull and tighten up that stitch. So the kit comes with its own needle. I can't manage to find a single one. I didn't really look at anyway, but it comes with a needle. This one came in a different kit, and it's a much larger needle, but you would just thread your needle with the yarn, and then we're going to weave in and out of the stitches, because we're going to tighten up the hole and close off the opening. Okay, so we're just weaving this in and out, simple as that. Okay. Now once we go all the way around, you're just going to pull this till the hole disappears, and then by any means tie it off. And I don't have a clear way of doing this. I just try to make a knot. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay. I'm going to let this go. Alright. So now I'm going to try to take this and hide it inside the body. What you want to do is stick your hook right under the surface to avoid the fiber fill. Then you want to poke your hook right next to where this piece is. You want to hook it and drag it back into the body until it disappears. Okay. You can always cut the excess piece if it's not going in all the way, because that was a long piece. So I'm just going to cut off this extra. And then I'm going to just fan this out like that, roll it up, shape it into a body. Here is the body. I'll probably make a lab with this one. But here it is, you guys. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Comment below if you have any more questions regarding any of these crochet kits, even broken down pieces like this. Again, this was a viewer request, and they were currently working on the body. Again, if there's any other requests along with commenting, you can also email me. My email address is in the About section on my channel. But thank you so much for watching, you guys. This is IsmsbyJBM. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.